The train rumbled through the English countryside. Fields blurred, towns flickered past. Inside, a young woman named Joanne sat alone.
Life felt ordinary, dull. I longed for something more.
She'd been daydreaming, thinking about stories. Stories filled with magic, stories that transported you.
I wished my life felt like a story.
Then it happened, a spark, a tiny flicker of light in the overwhelming darkness, a beacon of hope in the void. It was as if the universe had conspired to ignite this moment, to bring forth a revelation that would change everything. An image flashed into her mind, a boy, not just any boy, but one who seemed to carry the weight of the world in his eyes. His presence was both haunting and comforting, a paradox that she couldn't quite understand. He was small and thin, with bright green eyes that seemed to pierce through the fabric of reality. He wore round glasses that magnified the intensity of his gaze, making him appear both vulnerable and wise beyond his years. And he had a scar, a faint, almost imperceptible mark that hinted at a past filled with untold stories and hidden battles. A lightning bolt scar on his forehead. It was a symbol, a sign of something extraordinary. This was no ordinary boy. He was marked by destiny. Where did he come from? Who was he? The questions swirled in her mind like a tempest. The boy was special. She could feel it in her bones, in the very air around her. He was a wizard, a being of immense potential and untapped power. He didn't know it yet. The world had kept its secrets well, shrouding him in ignorance. But the time for revelation was near, and he was about to find out. The spark had ignited a chain of events that would lead him to his true identity, to the discovery of his magical heritage. The journey ahead was fraught with challenges, but it was also filled with promise and wonder. The boy's life was about to change forever, and with it, the fate of the world. The world outside the train seemed to melt away, as if the mundane reality was being left behind. The rolling hills and quaint villages blurred into a tapestry of greens and browns, a prelude to something extraordinary. In its place, a different world emerged. A world of magic where the air itself seemed to shimmer with enchantment. The trees whispered ancient secrets and the fog danced like spirits in the twilight. She saw a bustling street hidden behind a pub, a place that seemed ordinary at first glance but was teeming with hidden wonders. Narrow alleyways twisted and turned, leading to places unseen by the untrained eye. Diagon Alley, a place where wizards bought their wands and books, where every shop window displayed items of wonder and mystery. The air was filled with the scent of parchment and potions, and the chatter of magical folk. And then, a castle. Hogwarts. A school for witchcraft and wizardry, standing majestically on a mountain, its towers piercing the sky. The lake below mirrored its grandeur, and the mist that surrounded it added an air of mystery and anticipation. The castle was alive with secrets, its walls whispering tales of old. Every corridor held a story, every shadow a hidden truth. The ancient stone seemed to pulse with the magic of generations past. She could almost hear the echoes of spells and laughter in its ancient halls. The ambient light cast long shadows, creating an atmosphere of both wonder and foreboding. It was a place where the past and present intertwined, where every step was a journey into the unknown. The boy, Harry, was whisked away to this magical school.
He learned about his parents.
He discovered his own magical abilities.
He found friendship and adventure.
But danger lurked. Someone was hunting Harry, someone who wanted him dead.
He had to fight. He had to be brave.
He was, after all, the boy who lived. Joanne grabbed her pen. She had to write it down.
The story poured out of her. Word by word, the magical world took shape on paper.
Each word was a step into the unknown. Each sentence brought her closer to her dream.
She wrote on scraps of paper, on napkins, anywhere she could.
The real world faded away. All that mattered was the story. That train journey was a turning point. It was a seemingly ordinary day, with the train chugging along the tracks, the countryside rolling by in a blur of greens and browns. Passengers were lost in their own worlds, some reading, some chatting, others simply gazing out of the window. But for one woman, this journey was anything but ordinary. It was the moment an ordinary woman named Joanne became J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter. As she sat in that train, an idea began to form in her mind, an idea that would change her life and the lives of millions of readers around the world. She began to scribble notes in her notebook, her imagination running wild with the story of a young boy who discovers he is a wizard. She took a leap of faith. She dared to imagine. With every word she wrote, she ventured further into a world of magic and wonder, a world that had never been seen before. It was a journey of courage, of believing in herself and her story, even when the odds were against her. And in doing so, she inspired millions around the world. Her books became a global phenomenon, capturing the hearts and minds of readers of all ages. People found solace, joy, and inspiration in the pages of her books, and her story became a beacon of hope for aspiring writers everywhere. Her story is a reminder to us all. It tells us that no matter how ordinary we may feel, we all have the potential to create something extraordinary. We all have the power to change the world with our words, our ideas, and our imagination. We all have stories within us, stories that are waiting to be told, waiting to be shared with the world. Each of us has a unique voice, a unique perspective, and a unique story that only we can tell. Stories waiting to be told, stories that can inspire, uplift, and transform, stories that can bring people together, bridge gaps, and create understanding. All it takes is the courage to put pen to paper, to let our imagination run free, and to share our stories with the world. Sometimes all it takes is a little spark of imagination, a single idea, a fleeting thought, a moment of inspiration. That spark can ignite a fire within us, a fire that drives us to create, to dream, and to bring our stories to life, and the courage to share it with the world. Because when we share our stories, we connect with others on a deeper level. We touch their hearts, we move their souls, and we make a difference. So let us all find that spark of imagination and have the courage to share our stories with the world.